What can I do for you? He blamed Byron for being headstrong and foolish, which I don't see it quite the same way, but it's easy to understand why the mayor would think that. It wasn't hard to convince him that we can't leave Byron behind, though. I hope so. He's always been annoyingly hard to get rid of. Why do you ask? I'm not opposed to technology. I'm just opposed to trying to dominate everything. We can be part of the planet's history without having to be its masters. He was the third to be born, after Athena and Eustathius. He was an important figure in New Jerusalem's early history, almost as important as Athena. But after she vanished, he faded into the background. I don't think anyone suspected he knew where she was. I didn't know him that well, but he was always very calm, very thoughtful. Everyone respected him. I do. Although I prefer the term interactive fiction, it's better at capturing what this art form really is, storytelling, but with a completely different underlying structure. As a category, it's more equivalent to poetry or the novel, rather than, say, film. Anything else? It makes me wonder why people always think they know better than nature. He was in charge of planning New Alexandria. It was his mistake that led to the disaster. After that, he retired from public affairs and dedicated himself to his studies. Yes. You mean, am I unduly influenced by my experiences? Unable to imagine the better future Byron wanted because I'm too traumatized? Could be. But I'd like to think I'm a little more self-aware than that.
the language of creation is a kind of melody. Maybe that's why we respond to music the way we do. Because we recognize something that can't be expressed in any other way. And when we play music, we participate in something ancient, in an act of creation.
Come on, out with it. What's the problem?
I know you're very busy, but you need to pay more attention to what's happening. Everything's slowing down. People are losing track of the bigger picture.
They're still traumatized by New Alexandria.
It's more than that. When I organized the last expedition, I had real trouble finding volunteers. There's no enthusiasm for the outside world anymore. They want to look away from history, pretend there's no past and no future. I'm really worried, Athena.
Okay. I promise I'll look into it as soon as I'm done with this.
After we talked about science fiction, Alex gave me a book. Her favorite book, a novel called Athena. It's not exactly what I'm used to reading, but it's pretty good. And it really made me wonder how we're going to be perceived if this project works out. Are we going to be mythologized? Is Alexandra going to be this distant mythical figure instead of the real, funny, human person that she is? It's hard to imagine that we'll all have been dead for hundreds of years. Man, I'm scared. I'm really scared. I don't want to die.
Listening to Miranda talk about beauty made me think. Okay, this might be super weird and kind of pretentious, but I honestly mean it. What is beauty? Like, where does it exist? Is it just in our minds? Or is there some objective component, something quantifiable? I always thought it was just perception, but if I understand her correctly, Miranda sees beauty as a property of the universe itself. That's interesting. So you think the world is beautiful whether or not someone is there to perceive it? Even if we were all gone, it would still be beautiful? Uh-huh. So you think the universe is like a work of art. It has to be parsed to have meaning. And that's our role. We're the audience. But then, doesn't that mean that as a species, we have a responsibility to grow? To enlarge the audience so that more beauty can be perceived? That's a really powerful image. Beauty flowering in the universe as intelligence spreads. Thank you. I hope you're right. I think that's one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard. I hope it's true. Okay, this may sound like a robot joke, but I love heavy metal, especially the more melodic kind. It's big, it's epic, it's full of emotion. You can really get lost in it. Actually, I named Bruce after Bruce Dickinson, the lead singer of Iron Maiden. They used to call him the air raid siren, which is also what my Bruce sounds like.
kind of excellent.